that's Schenectady Progressive, right?
Yes.
So you put on the first one.
And then you went to GA. Actually,
What you doing?
I thought I was the one that I use it so
I was thinking that the other day when you was in the back. I was like, there's a like I've seen the movie.
I had two and then I left on I know the link.
You see the lights? You see the lights somewhere?
Okay.
Yes. And we can listen to you. It's one. Why would you listen? That listening is overrated. Yes, it is. You see
What I
our
want.
You see our boy eating your cookie?
Show me somebody else in this room to go to the bathroom where he wants.
Amy got notified.
You know, did we contact one person?
Yeah.
And so she listen myself and go.
Yeah, that was only like.
I did a good job.
It was just.
It's because I'm sorry.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wanna? I think Paul's gonna introduce me first.
Okay. Paul.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
It shows how great that they contacted you.
yes.
That shows like they're seeing. Move on.
Yeah.
Thank you all for being here today. My name is Paul Padarakis and I am press secretary for Teresa McCollum. Our first guest is here to share a story of our horrific and parasitic healthcare system. Please welcome healthcare activist Scott DeNoyer.
Hi everyone. As you just heard, my name is Scott DeNoyer. I'm a healthcare activist. I want to start off by thanking everybody for being here. Fixing our broken healthcare system has become an important issue, more of an important issue to me than I'd ever imagined possible. I'm here today to endorse a true progressive candidate, Teresa McCollum. Sorry about the thoughts in your name. She's speaking up for us, we the people. I'm here not today because I want to be, not out of desire, but because the corporate-controlled medical rationing system that we have here in America has taken something from me that is making me stand up and fight. You see, in the first week of March, my eldest son, Daniel, had moved in with me. He'd been in a domestic dispute with his baby's mother, and there had been legal issues that ensued, including an order of protection. This order of protection made things difficult. He couldn't receive his mail. He couldn't get his text messages. After Danny'd gone through this, he'd come in to move in with me, and he'd been in the things snowballed from the legal issues as he lost his job and his vehicle. Danny never came to me in the past for help. I knew he was in trouble when he did. After about 3 weeks of moving in with me, he came home one day and he said to me, "Pops, I went to get my medication refilled today and my insurance had been canceled." He'd been insured through Fidelis Care, part of the ACA, through the Managed Medicaid program. The medication he was on was risperidone 3 milligram, an antipsychotic with a known suicidal risk from withdrawals. My wife Anna and I assured him that we would do everything to come up with the money. It was $250 for a prescription out of pocket, and we didn't have it. I told him first thing Monday, you should call Fidelis and find out what happened. He had learned that he had missed a $20 payment as part of the essential plan. He made the payment on the phone that day. It was a little bit after April 1st. They told him on the phone that day that his plan would be reinstated May 1st, beginning of the next billing cycle. On April 9th, I saw a suicide post on Facebook. He said, "I just want everybody to know, I loved him. This world wasn't meant for me. Maybe the next life will be better. I superglued my seatbelt, double checked, but do not have the strength to open it, and I choose death by drowning." He had said goodbye to his 2 children and drove his truck into the Mohawk River. His Facebook post showed an image of his cab of his truck overlooking the water. I thought he was at the Saratoga Lake, and I lived 5 minutes from there. I jumped in my car and raced down to the lake to try to save him, not knowing I was at the wrong place. I don't want to be here. I don't want to show the world my pain, but I cannot stay quiet when such a cruel judgment has been delivered to my son for having the audacity to forget about a payment, $20 due to a corporation that posted a 24% growth and had a $60.1 billion revenue in 2018 after adding managed Medicaid. I am standing up and demanding that our lawmakers, our politicians start doing what they were elected to do, represent we the people, not the corporations. I'm standing up and demanding our nation puts people before profits. My son's story is not alone. It's not unique. I have personally read thousands of other stories, just as horrific as Danny's. What we all have to remember is we hear up to 45,000 lives a year are lost here in America due to not enough health insurance. These lives have names. They have people left behind, children, parents. They're not just numbers. Here in New York, we have the New York Health Act. It's a bill that's taxpayer funded and would remove corporate-controlled health insurance and replace it with a universal single-payer system. The New York Health Act would include all New Yorkers, leaving no one behind. The New York Health Act has already passed the Assembly 4 times and is only missing 1 Senate vote. With Therese's vote, we can make this happen. Canada made their single-payer system happen 1 province at a time, starting with Saskatchewan. If we get New York to pass the New York Health Act, New York could be the Saskatchewan of America. We need Medicare for all. We need universal health care. This is disgusting that our country puts profits of corporations before people. I'm asking everyone to stand up and fight with me and vote for Theresa and tell our government our children's lives are not for sale. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Our next guest is the former president of the Sierra Club, and he is a civil rights and environmental activist. Please welcome Aaron Meir.
Thank you. This is going to be an honor and a privilege to support Theresa McCalman for the 49th New York State Senate District and Senate seat. She will be representing the mighty counties of Schenectady, Montgomery, Saratoga, Fulton, and Herkimer. And folks would say, why should she step forward? Because she is the next generation leadership that we need. I'm a proud vet and a father of 2 daughters who are graduates of Mahonison High School, the first 2 female graduates of West Point. They represent the kind of leadership and character that Theresa basically exemplifies, that all young leaders who want to, as they say, carry a nation forward should be emblematic of. Theresa is one of those charismatic, but more importantly, astute young leaders who gets it. It's more than just a political gimmick, but someone who is insightful to the needs of our 5-county region. Yes, you just heard the talk about the call for the New York State Health Act, which is, as I say, will be expensive. How will we pay for something like that? Well, you know, something like the stock transfer tax, bring it back. New York State bleeds over $15 billion a year in a corporate handout of basically a sales tax that stops people who play and gamble on the stock market in Wall Street. We are hemorrhaging jobs and we're hemorrhaging investment because Wall Street still controls our New York State capital. We need a senator who will lead the charge and break up the good old boy, good old gal network of Republicans and Democrats who put the interests of pay to play over that of New Yorkers. Having Thearse go forward, she's not going to be somebody that's going to be passing fluffy laws that say protect the idiosyncratic things that really are non-bread and butter issues for the people of Schenectady, Herkimer, Fulton, Saratoga counties. She will be pushing for those programs that put New Yorkers, and specifically our region, first. She will be pushing for programs and investment. It's not that you call for something, but absolutely with the astute knowledge of, listen, here is the shortcomings and here's why we're not paying for it. People cheered when Governor George Pataki slashed the stock transfer tax. He was a hero to Wall Street and he was a hero to downstate. But that investment cost upstate New York and Schenectady, Fulton, and Montgomery and Herkimer counties in particular. The slashing of jobs and services and programs that stock transfer tax used to pay for was unsung and unheralded and uncaptured in Capital Region newspapers. Folks did not connect the downsizing of state labor force as well as cuts to our education budgets, which basically passed the payment onto local taxpayers with regards to homeowner taxes, etc., to pay for the shortfall that stock transfer, the tax giveaway to millionaires and billionaires on Wall Street paid for. So having a senator who has the courage to say, excuse me, can we restore this common sense tax? This is a revenue, and let me put it like this. We all pay taxes. If I pay taxes on my sales and products that I purchase throughout the Capital Region, should not Wall Street pay a sales tax on what it buys and sells on Wall Street? You know, they get a differential break in income tax. Wall Street income is income. They pay half of what the average working class struggling family in the Capital Region pays. Having someone who will advocate for them to pay just like the working class guy and gal in the Capital Region should pay is just a fundamental start. It's not a progressive value, it's fundamentally an American value. And you say, well, progressives, they were too liberal, too social. No, this is what FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, a one percenter, a billionaire, who said, do the right thing for all working class Americans. Basically, Thearse is actually a throwback. We're saying put a New Yorker who is bully on the environment, bully on the economy, but more importantly, moving all of us to that fair space where we all pay our shares to enjoy the benefits and bounty of that upstate can bring. It's not so much just the promises, but looking at how we're going to pay for those promises. We need a smart, thinking New York State senator who will advance the argument. People say, we pay too much taxes, as if we all pay the same type and equal taxes. No, the working class of the Capital Region pays more, we're hemorrhaging more, but more importantly, we're getting less services for them. Having Thearse McCalman representing our district will be a mighty step forward. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you our future New York State Senate representative for the 49th Senate District, Thearse McCalman.
So, thank you everyone. I have actually a very special guest speaker who showed up to show her support for me. Thearse Thearse. Here you go, come on over. She is now the Albany County Auditor, and she would like to say a few words before I go on.
Truly an honor to stand here in support of someone who I consider a good colleague and a good friend. I want to speak from the heart here. When I ran for Albany City Council roughly 7 years ago, I was a rookie in Albany politics. I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew that I wanted to make a difference. And so a part of accomplishing that mission was putting together a team of people who would go door to door with me, who would help to convince voters that I was the best candidate for the job. And so out of nowhere, this young, vibrant woman appeared, not by herself, but with her family in tow. And they went door to door consistently for me. I ultimately won that election. But what I won't forget about those times, those days in the streets, knocking on doors, in the heat, day after day, was the diligence, the consistency that Thearse and her family contributed to me winning my campaign. And what I was always taught as a young girl is that when people show up for you, you show up for them. And I am proud to stand here showing up for Thearse. Showing up because she deserves the opportunity to lead and serve her community in this way. We often talk about we need young people to get involved. We need people of color to get involved. We need women to get involved. We say those things, but when the rubber meets the road, people back away. Because they themselves don't want to give up the power that they have. They speak about it in a very abstract way because they want someone else to give up theirs. But they themselves don't want to give up the power that they possess. And this woman is not only young, a woman, a person of color, she is intelligent. So it's not about checking a box. It is about having the right person at the decision-making table. Someone who actually is compassionate about people. I want to pivot to talk a little bit about family. As a new mother, I appreciate more than ever having people in leadership roles who love other people's children as if they were their children. Thearse, in her role, will love everybody's children. That's right. She is truly a humanitarian. She is a community servant. She is in it because she wants a brighter future, not only for her children, but your children, my children. And so again, it is my honor to stand here in support of this strong woman who is intelligent, who is a mother, and who knows how to get the job done. Please join me in bringing up Thearse, who we know will be the next senator for the 49th district.
Okay, I said I wasn't gonna cry today. Scott started it all. Always, always. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to Perry, who owns Harmony Hall, for allowing us this space. Thank you to my team for being here and believing in our message and believing that we can capture the seat in the Senate. Thank you to the media for being here. Thank you to Dorothy, love you. Thank you to Aaron. Thank you to Scott. Thank you to all my family and friends back here, and also my children. Please come over here. Come, my babies near me. My son can't be here. My oldest girl's over there with my grandchild. Thank you everyone for being here and believing in me. So I agonized over what to say today for weeks. I kept asking myself, what should my speech be about? Infrastructure? Should it be about school funding? Opioids and big pharma? Jobs or lack thereof? The environment? Healthcare? What should I speak about? And these are all viable issues, right?
They are. Yes.
The truth of what we, as Americans, as New Yorkers, are facing every single day of our lives. In this agonizing period, I heard from many friends, family, my team, other political activists, my children, about how I should start my speech. I even resorted to using the tactics that I teach my students, the hamburger essay. 5 paragraphs, 3 point, 3-body paragraph. I think we've all been through that. That, however, was too academic. And everyone's opinions and suggestions just didn't seem right. But one suggestion, however, did stand out. It was simple. State who I am, why I'm running, and what I want to do for the people of the district. So bear with me. This is the easy part. I am Thearse McCalman, and it is extremely important to me that you know that, and how to say my name. Thank you, I wasn't expecting that. Thank you. It is who I am, and I would like you to recognize that and respect that, because I would most certainly do the same for you. I'm a mother, I'm an educator, a student, a grandmother, a grandbaby's over there, an aunt, a sister, a daughter, and above all, I am human. And this is important because for a long while now, too long, we have not been treated as human. We have been bottom lines, we have been profit margins, we have been employee numbers, we have been social security numbers, we have been statistics, we have been them, they, other, slightly intangible things used by those who think only of their importance and their pockets. We are human beings. We deserve to live. We deserve health. We deserve to breathe fresh air, to drink clean water,
Yes.
Yes.
to be educated, to earn not just a livable wage, but a proud wage.
Yes.
We deserve to walk down the street and be seen, loved, respected, and not feared or have doubt, suspicion, division, or hate.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a little bit of about why I'm running too. This district has suffered from disinvestment, economic flight, gentrification, making housing, living, breathing a serious struggle. Why? Because the current establishment is all about making money for themselves and their already rich friends. Final point almost. What I want to do for the people. This took me aback. This is a serious I statement. Very self-centered. It is not what I want to do for the people. It's what do the people need me to do for them. This is what is you're welcome. This is what is often left out of our political system. The people. We know that. We feel that. Now, when I ran for mayor, my main reason was that it is time for change. And it is.
Yes. Yep.
But one local advocate said it the best. She is a fierce fighter of our rights, and she summed up the needs of the people this way, and I'm taking liberty with some of her words. She said, the solutions that she wants to see is in resources, restoration, and a shift in power that benefits Black people and the community. In other words, she wants action. We all want action. We all need to see action. So I ask you this. I would like to be with your permission, I would like to be your resource, that resource to help you gain more access to your community by grants and other funding, to reinvest in your community, to restore power to the oppressed, depressed, forgotten, and ignored, to women and their right to choose, to families like Scott Denoya's who suffered great loss due to a for-profit health system. To our children who are still waiting for millions in foundation aid so that they can receive the education that they deserve.
Yes.
To be that resource for funding and support to our nurses for safe hiring practices, to our CUNYs and our SUNYs, and so much more. I ask to be that restorer agent in all ways possible to ourselves as human beings, as a community, as a district, as a state, and as a country. Restoring what was taken from us by greedy corporations and career politicians who only see our accomplishments, guess what? They only see our accomplishments and successes as a photo op and a news story.
That's right.
Yep.
I'm here today to ask you to be your next senator, that agent of true change for the people and of the people. Who to say? All the people.
All the people. That's right.
My name is Teresa, and I'm here to reclaim our time. So let us march on until victory is won. Thank you. Any questions from the media?
I think a lot of people were surprised with how close you became to becoming the mayor of Schenectady last year. Do you feel that momentum will carry you into this next campaign?
I definitely can. So I wasn't surprised, and it's kind of sad when people come to me and say they were surprised. No, be surprised. It's fine, but I took what the issues were that they told me. I didn't come to them and say these are your issues. I said, what do we need? What do we need to scream from the mountaintops? What do we need to make them understand that we're lacking, that we need? I took their voice and I just amplified it. And I guess the surprise is that they didn't think anyone would listen. They did. And they went to the voting polls and they voiced their opinion. They're tired of the tunnel vision. They're tired of being priced out of housing. They're tired of trying to choose between paying rent, the electric bill, or feeding the children. Matter of fact, clothing the children. They're tired of that, and they needed someone to say it loud and clear. And I did. And I'm going to continue to do that. This is not just a Schenectady issue. This is a New York State issue. This is an issue for the entire country. These issues. And I'm going to scream it loud and clear for the 49th.
The person who's in that seat right now is fairly new to the Senate. I think he was elected in 2016, took office in 2017, but he's been in the state legislature for a very long time. The incumbents
38 years.
generally have an advantage. How do you plan to bridge the gap between the experience or the perception of experience in the public?
Well, because he has been in there for so long, like I said, he has joined the rest of the collective with their tunnel vision. He has dissected himself from the true issues of our district. That's why we're experiencing such economic flight. We have such revenue in this district that has not been tapped. For instance, up in Little Falls, they have an awesome garlic festival that could be a very great revenue, not only for that part of the district, but for New York State as it is. But it's not being tapped. It's not being acknowledged. We are being hurt by the China tariffs. How are we going to fix that? What are you doing? Taking another picture? You are so separated from the true issues of the people. Well, he is, I should say, not you there.
You're running as a Democrat, correct?
Yes.
Do you have any primary challengers so far?
I think there's one out there.
And do you feel threatened at all?
No. Not at all. Have you met me? Any other questions?
Senator Tedesco has made a big issue out of bail reform. What are your thoughts on bail reform?
I'll say this for you. Cash bail means poor people in jail.
Therese, when you talk about Senator Tedesco, and you didn't mention him by name. Obviously, the fact that he's been there for a long time, some people are going to view that as a benefit because he has a name recognition. He's probably got a lot of money. So, I mean, do you have the support of any establishment Democrats, and how do you overcome that? Because obviously, you're going to need a lot of money. You're going to need to get out there and pound the pavement. So, how do you get out there and deal with that?
So that's a similar question to when I was running for mayor, right? So the mayor of Schenectady, he's got a lot of people backing him, the establishment, mind you, and he's got money. How are you going to fight that? So I did very well, right? So, but with Tedisco, the thing is, so I'm just going to use your words. This is not to you, Paul, at all, but just your words. So Tedisco has name recognition. That's not giving us foundation aid. He has money, but we, the district, do not. So, what are you doing? What are you doing, Tedisco? You have money, you have name recognition, but that is not helping us at all.
That's right.
Well said, well said.
Any other questions?
In theory, if you were to debate Jim Tedisco, what would be the top 5 topics that you would talk about? I know you just mentioned a couple of them, like foundation aid, the ability to afford housing, food, but what would the top 5 be?
So let's take that out of theory and we're gonna make this a thing, right? Because it will happen. Our top 5, so obviously public school funding, safe hiring practices for our community, for our nurses. We need to reinvest in our community, so there's lots of grants and funding out there that we need to capture that's being ignored. We also need to make sure that we as a community are not left on the outskirts of what's happening in our city.
Yes.
Most often, what our political leaders are doing now is looking towards the 1%, those corporations that have more money, and see how they can make a profit on us. No, it is the people's voice, it is the people's city. Understand this, corporations and rich people can buy city. They can buy any city that they want, but the people are the city. And that's what we're going to fight with, the people.
Yeah.
Any other questions? All right, well, I thank you all for coming. I thank all of you for being here. Thank you for supporting me. Yes, yes, I know. It's like ignoring everyone because
It wasn't.